Welcome, boardwalkers, to my studio. I'm CB Mac, and on this channel you'll find tutorials about plein air painting with watercolors, gouache, ink, graphite, and colored pencils. I also enjoy doing some art supply reviews at times. In today's video, I thought I'd share with you what I like to take in my simplest plein air backpack when I would like to go sit on the boardwalk or go to a cafe. Just like to do something where I don't have to take an easel or a Pochade Box or anything. So let's get started. One of the first things I like to take is a Ziploc bag of paper towels or toilet paper so that I can dab my paints and watercolors. I also like to have this bag so that I can put my spray water bottle and my little dropper bottle that's usually empty when I get there, full of water, so that I can move about without it getting my backpack wet. I also put in these water brushes. Sometimes I'll have them filled with water, like this one and this one. And I came across this Pentel set of 4 that I really like to use a lot because of the variety of tips they have. There's a flat brush, a large round tip brush, a teeny tiny point detail brush, and then a extra large round. This one's a lot bigger than this one. And these are the brushes that you unscrew the cap and you just fill it up with the water. And then you screw that back on there. And then you put your cap on it to protect it. But I usually carry all 6 of these brushes. This was the first set of brushes that I've used. I started watercolor with watercolor brushes because I was taking a field course. I've also got these extra large brushes, and they have an even bigger flat brush tip compared to my other one. And another fine detailed, and they work the same way. You unscrew them, but these were the first sets of brushes that I ever used when I was doing watercolor at all. I also have this Sakura ink brush. Whoop, I just got ink all over my fingers there. You can see how fresh it is. And this is filled with the Sakura ink that is waterproof after you let it dry. And I usually wrap these up, as you can see, in a paper towel just in case they just happen to leak. So far, they've been pretty good not to leak. And I put those all in this Ziploc bag when I go to travel. Some of the other supplies that I like to carry is my Royal Langnickel Zen Royal Langnickel number 2 scrubber brush to help with anything I need to erase or remove if I've made a mistake. I always like to take a 6 or 7 inch ruler. This is from my sewing kit, so that I can plot out on my paper or my sketchbooks the center of my paper to start from. I also take my Fumi travel set of brushes, of these regular brushes, and that's the set that has the cat's tongue here, the number 8 cat's tongue, the number 4 tiny round, the number 8 round, and a number 8 flat. And as you can see, these are the ones that screw into the handle, so they're nice and secure. They're just the right weight and comfortable for my hands, my arthritic hands. So they're easy to hold, comfortable for my grip. These tighten back up. They have the hole in the bottom so that when you put them in, I like to put them in just slightly damp, because that'll keep the hairs from messing up like you saw me just do a while ago. It'll keep the hairs from being strayed and bending back on themselves. And so those go right back into their little caps. So I have the water-filled brushes. If I cannot carry a bottle of water with me anywhere, and if I can carry a bottle of water, I'll have these brushes on hand. I like to take my Tom Lynch Secret Composition tool. It's also a viewfinder, and I'll do a video on that, upcoming video on that. I have a tin of my Royal Graphite and Royal Charcoal pencils in 2B, 4B, HB, soft, medium, and hard, along with some other HBs and another 4B charcoal pencil, a dual-sided pencil sharpener, and a kneaded eraser. It's a really hard kneaded eraser that fits in there. And then that closes up. In this other container, I have my pencil leads, my 05 lead, my 07 and my 09 pencil leads for my mechanical pencil that I like to take also. Backup pencil sharpener, a couple of textured sponges, and a regular sponge to use for textures. A backup eraser for the Pentel mechanical 0.5 mechanical pencil. a tortillon to blend with, some Q-tips or cotton buds for blending. Got a couple of wooden toothpicks, and I keep those in there for mixing up my paint. If I need to stir up my little pans of paint to loosen them up some, I'll have that. And I also have this cool little backup pair of folded scissors, if I can get them to work. I haven't used them in a while, so they are not cooperating today. Ah, there we go. In case I need to trim anything, any papers or strings or anything. And that just folds right back into together. And that slips right in there. And that's in my De La Rowney pencil set. I like to keep the old tins from my pencils because I have found they do really well if I need to put them on my travel board. Sometimes I take this large board that I use on my indoor studios to do some plein air stuff, and so I can just stick it right there on that strip of magnet there, or any of my palettes. Comes in real handy. I have a backup plastic container, zip container, with another kneaded eraser, my high polymer white Pentel eraser. I like to take these cosmetic pads to use as blending material along with the tortillons and the cotton buds, more cotton buds for the graphite or the charcoal. I have a couple of safety pins because I'm always needing to pin up something or fix something on my bag. And this is where I also keep my white Uniball Signo UM135 gel pen for white highlights and drawing for either my graphite or my watercolors. And then the last thing I have is this old eyeglass case, and I like to use it as a pencil pen holder. I have a highlighter. I have a fountain pen with the fine nib filled with my own walnut ink, homemade walnut ink. I have a Sharpie fine point permanent marker in case I need to mark anything. And then I have the Sharpie fine tip. And this one's the regular Sharpie permanent marker tip. I use either the Sharpie pen or the fountain pen to sign my artwork or to draw with. I have a nail file to file down sharp edges on things. I have the Millennium Zig permanent ink, acid-free, archival quality, waterproof and fade proof 05 blue pen with blue ink. I carry 2 ballpoint pens, a Bic Atlantis that I like to draw with sometimes, and then my Pilot B2P07 tip ballpoint pen made out of recycled water bottles. I have a backup Pentel Twist Click 05 pen, like my black one. I have my Tombow small eraser, zero eraser, and then I have what I carry for my colored pencils right now is this Multi-8 PH 802 Pentel pencil. It has 8 different leads. You've got a brown, you've got blue, you've got red, you've got a non-copy blue, which is a light blue. So when you Xerox or photocopy stuff, it doesn't show, along with this diazo non-copy red. It's a darker red. We've got green. We've got yellow. And we've got orange. And these are just 2mm thick leads that I like to use to draw with and sketch with. And then those go just right back into my pencil case here. It's an old-fashioned eyeglass case. So that it keeps everything together until I can get me a correct looking pencil case, because I'm eventually going to need to get a bigger pencil case to hold all my pencils that I do like to carry when I carry my bigger set and bigger bag. But that's my basic everyday set of supplies that I carry. Regardless of what medium I'm using. Let me get these all out of the way. So that I can show you you'll have to excuse me, that was Boone. He's taking his usual nap. I take my painter's color travel diary because that has all my colors of the different palettes, so I don't have to worry about taking any palette cards for the colors. And then I take either my Field Artist set, my core set, my Winsor Newton travel set. I have not swatched that one for you guys yet. This is the Field Artist one. The Winsor Newton one. The core set. With my Urban Sketch colors. The Sakura Koi set. Travel set. My Art of Soil set. Magnet set. And sometimes I will take this Arteza set. This is the Arteza 24 set. Right here on the bottom. But as you see, I'm slowly using this one up and getting rid of the Arteza colors. Because that's my very cheapest set of watercolors that I have. This set up here is my My Merry Blue set, and I will eventually do a watercolor swatching video with that soon. That's my professional set. I sometimes take this set, and then sometimes I will even take, let's close this one up, I will even take my gouache set in this gouache palette. I haven't done a swatching on those yet either. But I will usually pick one set of watercolors and my gouache set to take, so that I can use my gouache over my watercolors if I need to, or if I decide to. I have a video up, or a poll actually I should say, asking you guys which one of these travel sets of watercolors you would like for me to do for my first actual tutorial of plein air painting. So check that out. I'm going to give you guys a few more days on that before I decide, you know, which one I will take. Okay, let me move these out of the way and I'll show you what I take for my surface to work on. I usually take this little clipboard, and I will either use this 9x12 watercolor pad that fits with it, or I will take some 8x10 sheets of paper that will fit on it, or this fluid cold press watercolor paper block, which is an 8" by 8" 20.32 centimeter by 20.32 centimeter block. This is usually what I will take, is the smaller one, or I will use some of my favorite things to take is Paul Rubens' small sketchbook. That's a hot press sketchbook. Or some watercolor postcards, either the Winsor Newton ones or the Strathmore watercolor postcards. Or my favorite one is taking this tin of Tumarta watercolor cards. It's a tin, metal tin, that will sit still on my magnet if I have this big board out. And it keeps my watercolor papers, cards safe, my postcards safe with that sponge in there. These are some of the postcards that I've done past few years. This one was done in October 2022. I think that was done with, I think the gouache, the Winsor Newton gouache. Yeah, the Winsor Newton gouache. I've got these pumpkins that I did with Cecile Yadro with the Winsor Newton gouache. And then here's a watercolor picture I did of Venice. But it's just simple watercolor postcard paper that fits in the little tin. You put that little sponge on the top to keep it protected, to keep the moisture out in case it rains. If I know the weather's going to be cloudy like it is today, I'll usually take this one. And then these little ones, I can take them apart and they'll fit in there. I don't think the Winsor Newton might fit in there sometimes, every once in a while. So that's the watercolor paper that I usually take. And it normally all fits in this lovely bag that my youngest daughter got me from her trip to Costa Rica. And on it I have a flashlight and a pressure air tire gauge on it if I'm out and about with the car. And I just pop this clipboard in. And I can pop in the Hanamula 9x12 paper, the 8x10 Strathmore paper, the fluid 8x8 inch paper in this big pocket, along with my color diary so I can know what colors I want. Then down in the bottom I will put either a set of postcards or the small sketchbook. Then I'll put in my pack of pencils and my extra supplies in this tall pocket here. Along with the other supplies. I usually put this ruler in here. So I don't lose it. The composition tool slides in there. Then the water brushes go in, along with the water bottles. And then I roll that up and give it a zip. If you're enjoying this video channel, could I ask you to please tap the like button, share this video, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell icon to receive notifications for my upcoming videos? It makes a huge difference in the growth and the support of my art channel. This video and video description below contains some affiliated links. That means that I'm awarded a small commission for purchases made through Amazon with them at no additional cost to you. I thank you once again for your support. So we've got the water bottles in here. I roll it up and zip it up. I like to secure it with an extra rubber band just to make sure that nothing is loose. We're going to make sure we stand that upright and put that right in the bag. And then in this side pocket here, we're going to put the Fumi travel brushes. We're going to put my old pencil case with the pencils and pens in there. I've still got plenty of room to add any other pencils, like my other mechanical pencil. I can zip that up. In this front pocket, there are two pockets. In the bigger pocket, I keep my wallet, a portable little fold-up raincoat, and whatever extra important essentials that I need in there. Then we have this other side pocket, and I usually fit a water bottle in there, and it won't zip completely up over that, but I can pull this zipper up enough to where it will not fall out. I've not had any trouble with a water bottle when I'm carrying this fall out. I'm going to put this lanyard, tuck this in down here in the side. The next thing I'm going to add is I've got to decide what kind of watercolor palette I'm going to take. For purposes of this, I'm going to pack in the Sakura Koi watercolor palette. I usually just put that right in here behind the postcards. Then I set my gouache palette down on top, on the very bottom, and that rides in there fine. And then I forgot, I usually take binder clips to hold down my paper or my sketchbooks that I'm using. And I have various sizes from the 3-inch binder clips all the way down to the 1-inch, 1.5-inch to 1-inch, and even these little bitty tiny bulldog clips I use. So they all come very handy. Just clip these all together and just pop those in there in the top. That way I don't lose them. Then I can add whatever else I think I might need in the top. Maybe a jacket. I'll put a jacket over the top of that if I want to carry a jacket, depending on whether the weather is hot or cold. Then I will put this safety pin up here to help secure this slide. Then we're going to tie this up so it stays secure and taut. Then I fold this flap over, and this flap, there's another flap in here, another pocket. This is big enough for me to put my cell phone in, so it's easy access for me to get to. Then I just secure this clip. And we are ready. It comes with these comfortable straps. adjustable straps, and I can adjust the length with all these holes. And I am ready to go. All I have to do is grab my hat, and I'm ready for my plein air painting trip. So once again, please feel free to post your comments or any questions you have about my plein air kit. I do read each and every comment, and although I can't reply to everyone, I do try to answer every question that comes up. Look forward to seeing you again next week when we actually go out and use my plein air kit for a plein air painting of either birds or something in nature. Like got purple irises and tulips and peonies growing. So I may either do a floral, or I may do a bird, or we may go hiking out near the pond and I may do a painting of the trees or the cows out that way. Look forward to seeing you again next week. Goodbye for now.